Okay. Good evening, good morning. Waiting for a setup. We will try to look for a setup. Honestly, there was one setup that I was looking for. I was actually looking to long right here. This is a long that I actually did take on my terminal, but honestly, I would like to see some sort of follow-up right around here. So just a minor rotation. And the reason for this minor rotation is because of this range right here that we have been developing. I would like to consider this to be a low, a higher low, and that we have formed a higher low here. And in that higher low, we have formed another higher low, which is usually just a call for rotation up to this POI. Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, just text me in the chat because somebody's saying there's no voice and it's music playing. Yes, we can. Oh, okay, that's good. If you cannot hear me, just tell them to rejoin the call. That would work out. That's good. That's good. Let's go. Okay, this right here is a lower time frame though. But this is an honestly very minor rotation that I am taking a look at the moment. It's going to happen. Now let's take a look at the higher time frame real quick, first of all, because this is what we have to talk about and really be concerned about at the moment. Now, let me show you what these volume profiles that I marked. The first one that I have marked is the one that I marked from this all the way to current PA, right? And the second one is the one that I have marked from this level, which is where the range has actually started from. It's literally at that same level. The range actually started from here, and what do I mean by the range starting is when a trend is actually like exhausting, but it usually makes like highs and lows afterwards. But this is the point of exhaustion where the trend died, and in that moment and around that perspective of like PA is where like a price is rotating and using that level as a mean for pretty much the entire time. So as you can see right here, this level right here is being used as a mean. So this is where I draw my volume profile from and all the way to current range. Now this one you can see this is the value area low and oh sorry the value area high, and this right here is the value area low, and we are just below the value area low at the moment, as you can see, which is not really healthy for the chart at the moment. And taking a look at the structure that we have right here as well, that is, we were trending high, we were going pretty good, but then we started downtrending. Now, as you can see, this right here is a downtrend with a lot of like highs holding and quite a lot of like breaking of lows, right? So that's not really good. And lower time frame wise, the next high that has held is right around here, which is below the POC. Now why that is concerning is because this POC, as you can see right here, has been going on from this level, all the way from this range to the current market price as well. So this POC itself holds a lot of value. It has held price, it has rejected price, it has supported price, and POC just generally means a lot of volume, the most amount of volume that has executed in that specific time frame that we have marked out. So point of control is right around here, and us rejecting just below it is not really beneficial, it's not really healthy, and that's not good. So we have a POI that's here on the lower time frame, and if we are to like pop up, and the reason that we are gonna pop up a little from here, and the reason why I was talking about the long on the lower time frame, do you guys not see any sort of marking? I think I wait, let me just share my screen real quick. Okay, my bad. I was using the annotation chart. Let me just use the pen tool chart right here. Okay, right here I'm just gonna use the pen tool chart for a second so it's easier for pretty much everybody. Okay, right here, okay, the level that I was talking about was this level right around here. So if we mark out a lower high that we have right around here, as you can see, this is the uptrend that we had, and this is the downtrend that we have right now because the uptrend has seems to be broken. But there are still some lows that are being held right now. As you can see, this one right here has a three tab setup formation right above a higher low, and this higher low, it seems to have not broken right now, even though there's a lot of liquidity sitting just below these lows. That is exactly why the pump from these lows will be minor, but it will not be the bottom. And that's why if you are looking for a long right around here, and if you go to this setup right here, and we could, what we could do right now is we could come back right here, form another higher low, and then if you're able to get another higher low, I think that would be a trigger for me to really just share a long setup from this level all the way up to like 63 400. That would be a minor scalp. And the reason why I'm looking for this TP and not the entire value area high is because we have a very big and powerful POC, as you can see right here, which has already rejected price. Now, if we do not reclaim higher than the POC around this level, what's going to happen is that we're going to break down after this rejection all the way down to the 58,800 POI that we have right here. We also have a POC, a minor POC right around here, but it's pretty low. So the first POI that I would be looking for is going to be these lows. We're gonna take out these lows into this FVG that we have right here, but we are gonna rotate all the way down to this POC. POC retest possible is a question in the chat. It is pretty possible. Honestly, that is something that I am like very open to look for. That would be like, first of all, we hold this low. We're gonna bounce a little. We're gonna first come to this POI of this lower high. And then depending on, let's just say there's some sort of structure forming there, we could go a little higher. We could go a little higher, but not just at the POC. We'll go just a little higher than the POC, grab some buys there, reject off of this POI that we have, and then from there we could continue down the downtrend that we have right around here. Shini, when are the YouTube videos coming out? Oh, they're gonna be coming out Monday and Friday. I'm gonna start from this Friday that's going to come up. I was actually still recording the free course for everybody, like just before this call as well. So don't worry about it. All of that is gonna be like shared with time, and you guys are definitely gonna get it first. And yeah, that's the current outlook for the market at the moment. But I have to like share you guys the triggers as well. Honestly, the only triggers that I have for the longs right now would be if we are able to like get some sort of lows right here, and that would be that this is like a minor scalp trigger. Honestly, this is not a swing trade that I would recommend people or put your stops below this low, because this point is very crucial and it's going to break very soon. So we are going to have that in mind, and we are only going to scalp knowing that this level is going to break very soon, right? The other long setup that I'm looking for a swing long would be right around here, this extreme low around here. And honestly, that would be a rotation to this POI, at least the range low minimum, right? And we are going to look for some sort of triggers for that around this POI, and that would honestly just be like price coming into the POI and then bouncing off of there and then forming a low for us to be able to recognize, okay, there are some willing bidders around that level and they're willing to send the price higher. So these are the only two long setups that I'm looking for at the moment. And the other one is, and honestly, this is something that's not gonna happen within this week, but the other one is if you are able to like grind up here. So these are the only trigger for the longs that I am looking for at the moment. But both of these, the one around the slow grind here and the one below all on this PR right around here, is going to be something that we are going to wait for. We are not going to put our limits on here. We are just going to wait for. What you can do is just open up TradingView, add an alert, and just create an alert. And I think like you can like choose different alerts crossing down. So if it means like down, that means like it has touched my POI. Add condition, you can add a condition as well if there's some like okay, I don't need to add a condition. So I'll just create an alert, and I can create another alert right around this high, and I'll just like keep those alerts on. And I'll just take a look at the current market price. We don't have to like worry about these POIs, but these are going to be our two levels that we are going to swing long from. Now, let me go through the lower time frame real quick. As I said, like we are going to retrace a bit, and from that retracement, we are going to see if there's a low that's forming. Now, on the lower time frame, as you can see right here, we have the value area low right around here of the current range that we are in, and we have some levels right around here. First of all, we're going to mark out what's currently happening. The first thing that I really see happening right now is let me just mark this out. First thing I see is that there are lows that are holding. So this to me looks like a 3-tap setup, and it could sort of form a higher low structure that could help us rotate within this certain range that we have formed for the day, and we could get a range rotation if you're able to hold another low, a range rotation to 63,600. And based off of that, if you get a rejection from there, honestly, I am open to shorts. Now to talk about shorts, now that we have an overall understanding of what's going to happen on the higher time frame, we're going to talk about lower time frame triggers. Now the lower time frame triggers, the first one is like the long, which I'm currently not in, but I'm looking for a low to hold that then we might be able to execute. The For the short would be like right around here, and that would again be once we like start to reject a little, and then we can go for like a 2 hour trade minimum, and then that would be a very nice scalp. And the other POI that I'm looking for a short really, first of all, we have to like mark out that the POC of this range is somewhere around this level, right? The other one would be like this FVG. As you can see, it's a pretty big FVG right around here. Anywhere, any spike into the FVG just above the POC and any sort of rejections from it is going to represent to me or show to me that what we are doing right here is just pretty much trapping bids. And that would be the second short setup for me that I would be looking for. And that would be honestly a rotation all the way down to the value area low. So these are like some lower time frame triggers that I am looking for in terms of short. If it goes any higher, honestly, I'm not looking to short like if it like SFP is a high or if I want to short the slow grind, I'm not really interested in any sort of shorts like that. I'm only interested into shorting if there is proper distribution or exhaustion of bids right around this level, 64 400 to like 64 800. This is the level that I'm looking for, or if we are able to get some momentum into this high and then we get the that same exhaustion setup right around here. And when I talk about exhaustion setup, I just mean that price is trending and it's going up, and then eventually at some point it cannot make a new high, and that is very visible. And the reason for that being visible is that you can literally see it like either breaking structure or it just not forming another high, and you don't have to execute hastily and just enter into either of those trades. You can just wait for that structure to form, and if you're able to see, okay, there's another high forming, you can short that. So most of the time my trigger of for the short is usually the first high, the first lower high that gets formed, or the second high that gets formed after I get the confirmation. That's how I really execute on the trades that I have. And honestly, that's the same trigger that I would recommend pretty much everybody that's in the call right now to look for. And let me just clean my chart real quick. If you guys have any questions so far, just ask them in the chat real quick, and I'll make sure to answer them real quick as well. Let me just clean my chart real quick. Okay, there are some questions in the chat. Also, if you guys can just vote your positions right here. So this is a good sentiment of like understanding what positions everybody's in. There's like a 53 to 56% of people that are in longs at the moment, which is pretty good. I'm just hoping that your longs are at a nice at a nice POI or at a nice level. Because if you're longing and your entry is right around here, then you're obviously cooked. So just have like a nice setup. You can also share your setups in the chat. I go through them as well. Let me take a look at the chat real quick. Will today's live stream be uploaded to YouTube? It will be uploaded on both YouTube and my Twitter as well. Let me see. Chini, how do you draw your lines so straight? Honestly, I have no idea. I just use like a MacBook key like MacPad, and then I just like stretch a line. Um, Bal said, when you say that a low holds, can you explain? Thanks. Also, time frames you would use for low holds. Oh, okay, that's a good question. When I talk about low holds, like this example right here, let me just clear out this extra lines, and let's just go to the 1 minute because that's easier to understand. Okay, that was a very nice reaction. That was a very good reaction. Honestly, I may have fumbled a trade right here. Okay, but when I do talk about a low hold has to be anything that in structure validates what a low hold is or a higher low. And a higher low could be, let's say we are trending down and we have formed these like lower highs, and we have to continue down. As you can see in the downtrend structure, we have to continue down and break down the lows, but eventually at some point, usually in a bullish POI, the price comes into that level, and when it comes into that level it stops breaking into it, and then it gets a very strong reaction off of it. That first initial reaction of a bounce that we get is usually considered a low hold. And a lot of people don't recognize it because they have not ever looked into what an order flow is or a footprint is, and then they don't get and understand what that really is. And that's okay. You don't have to like execute right away. Then you either wait for it to form another higher low, or you wait for a break or structure to form to like pursue that trade. You wait for that other higher low, the one that gets formed right after one, or you wait for a break structure to pursue that trade. But this trade is very early recognizable by the first low that has formed and the second low that has held. So it's very recognizable, and the time frames that I would use for it would be 1 minute or 5 minute. Because like we are executing in a form of like scalping, so those are the only time frames valid for it. Now right here, as you can see, like most of the time you don't even get the chance to like execute on the first low, but the second low usually gives you a better chance. Like this right here, if I would have like aped in, even though my idea was right, even though my idea was like to just hop onto a trade long setup right around here, and my stops would be here, and I would like look for TPs right around here, I would be up in a risk-free trade. But since I was like waiting for a like better low and a confirmational low, which I would be able to share with you guys, I missed the trade, which is completely fine. Like happens a lot of the times. Then we wait for a better low to form or a breaker structure. And honestly, on a breaker structure, you want to see some sort of continuation to happen. Like just say there, if there's like a lot of like slow grind or structure being formed, you want to like ape that if you have like missed your entry around the higher low, or if you are able to see, okay, it's coming to a low, but it still didn't give me that confirmation, and I was maybe too scared to take it, and that's completely fine again. But sometimes you have to risk it. And if you're able to miss it, then continuation setups are the one. Because there's only two, like, sorry, four entry models. The first one being like an SFP, the second one being like a breaker structure, the third one being like continuation, and continuation is like very important. And the fourth one just being like compression. If you've seen compression, compression is just like something like this. So there's only four entry models that exist, and any other entry that exists out there is just a variation of four of these. And continuation right here, and then we have like low hold setup, which is also a form of continuation. So these are the only two entry models that I look for, and this is all about microstructure. We're not talking about order flow. We're not talking about anything else. If you're able to understand and just recognize microstructure, you will be able to like take a very banger trades very soon. And yeah, let me take a look at the lower time frame real quick. I have unfortunately missed my entry here, but that's okay. Let me take a look again at the chat. What other confluences do you use for the short trigger? I would probably use some order flow. That's something that I would probably use for a short trigger. Maybe an SFP. What I really use for a confluence, a really strong confluence, if let's just say if I'm longing here, right? If I'm like trying to long here, which I was going to do, but I don't have my order flow charts on at the moment because I have them on another screen, because I'm streaming. So when I'm looking for an entry to form, I usually look for like shorts or seller strapping into a low, especially for buy entries. Okay, this is going very well. This is gonna like just ramp up. I look for like sellers being trapped into a low, or if I'm looking for a short, I'm look for like buyers being trapped into a high, and that's the sort of like entries that I look for, confluences that I look for when I'm trying to like enter a trade. SB asked what lower time frame you check for the first lower high, 1 minute or lower than 1 minute. 1 minute is pretty good, and 5 minute as well. About CVD, should we use spot or futures? 19 asked. Honestly, for CVD, I would recommend that you guys use aggregated first, and then hop on to a Bybit one or a Binance one, or you can use both to see what the difference is. You need to learn. You need to understand what the difference is, and then you will be able to like record that in real time. That okay, the aggregated is like a bunch of like everything, and the Bybit one that I'm looking for is just Bybit, and you can use like spots first. Futures is actually better, but I recommend using spots, and then you will be able to understand the difference and then actually learn from it real time. ATTR said, you say that your usual trigger to short is the first lower high. How can you know in advance it will be a lower high? Honestly, I'll tell you, like this is some discretion, but again, at the same time, this is how you actually execute. You can either like lower the time frames to a point where you like really understand, like, okay, this is the 5 second chart. This is not even 15 second or 30 second. This is the 5 second chart. This is very low. And you can see right here, we are already having a break structure. I can literally tell you to like execute on a short right here. But this is too fast. We're not gonna execute on this. This is just an example. Like you can see like structure being formed because the market does not move without structure. All you can do is just lower your time frames down or use tick charts and you're able to recognize that structure before other traders. That's all. That's the edge you need to know about microstructure. All that's all you need to know. Now, this structure, it just would look like a candle forming. If I go to the 3 minute chart, like as you can see, you will not realize shit that's going on right here. You will be like, okay, this is just another candle, right? But if you change this, the out frame, the time outlook that you have, you're going to understand that everything indeed is a form of structure. And then you will be able to recognize, okay, you will be able to like get faster and better entries. As you can see, this right here, let me show you real quick. As you can see that there were these lows. Now, all I'm talking about right here is very, very microstructure. This is a little shizzle, but like this is something that you once you understand, yeah, and once you like work on it, work with it, you will be able to get much better at it. That is, let's just say this is like equal lows, right? And there was liquidity just below these equal lows, and then we come down, we take the liquidity, we're trending down very, very, very fast. But eventually, at some point, we see this grind up, right? Now this grind up, if you take a look on the 15 minute, you will recognize that this is a grind up, but it's just because it's the lower time frame, you don't take that trade, right? But again, you have to take this with a little bit of context as well, like what's going on the overall time frame, what's not, because right here, as you can see, like if you try to like short this setup, but let's say there's a POI that's sitting above, or we were like overall bullish, that prices are gonna go much higher, then obviously you're gonna fuck up on that trade by like shorting this or well, by like taking a wrong trade, right? That's why like there's a lot of people chatting. Okay. That's why you have to like really take a look into like context of like what's overall going on. Am I in a short POI or am I in a discounted POI? Do I want to look for longs here? So that's something you need to do, and then you gotta come look for the microstructure. Then you will be able to actually see that there's a lot of traders, there's a lot of like motion that's going on the lower time frame. Ham asked any recommendations on how to manage risks while trading, risk management. Just go with static risk. Because I know a lot of people and a lot of you are like doing dynamic risk. And what I mean by dynamic or static risk is that you guys are like risking way too much sometimes or risking way too low sometimes. Just like use one risk. Just stay fixed with one. That's something I know for a lot of people are using. They're either risking like $100 for a trade, or they're either risking like $2,000 for a trade. Like they're risking too much or too low. You gotta like have a static risk for now. If you don't have a profitable strategy, just stay with the static risk and try to realize, let's just say if price is like reversing on your ass around your entry, then just like exit before taking a full stop. That's something that will help you in getting like a better risk to reward ratio most of the times. Let me see. Sorry, Shini, I might have missed your answer. Can we pay on monthly basis for your subscription? You can open a ticket and you can tag Fexos for this. You can go and open a ticket, guys. But in a range market, how do you recognize a price deviation and a real breakout? What is the trigger? That is a good question as well. That is a very good question. Let me just clear my chart real quick. Wait. I don't like when my chart has a lot of stuff going on. I think I got like a little stimulated from that. Okay, just some levels that I would be watching for would be like right here and this right here. Now this is the lower time frame. As you can see, like right here, as you can see, like on the 5 minute or the 3 minute chart, you're gonna see that there's like basically nothing going on. But as you can see right here, this is proper abiding of structure. This is like a proper structure. This is a 3 tap setup, and we're forming a lower high right here. Right now, we're gonna rotate to this PI right here. It's just abiding structure on the lower time frame and price. In a price time chart with the price on the y-axis and time on the x-axis, it always abides structure. That's the base of it. Let me see the chat real quick. Shini, can you go give the order flow example that you just talked about? I will have to open up my order flow chart. Let me open up Exo real quick. Wait. Let me pull up Exo and I will share my screen. Just give me a second, guys. Well, I hope it works. Okay, it's loading up. I will open it up in a minute. Before that, I will go through some more questions. In a range market, how can you recognize a price deviation and a real breakout? What is a trigger? Honestly, for like deviation all of the time, what you have to look for is the amount of buyers or sellers activity in that range. If you really want to like confirm like what's going on, and that's usually confirmable through CVD and open interest because that's telling us what sort of positions are opening, what sort of positions are closing. But you can also recognize that through structure, and structure usually tells you a little late some of the times. That's why I recommend, if you want the fastest way, just learn about CVD and what an open interest is, and you would be able to like understand what's going on. Like right here, just a few minutes ago, I was explaining to you guys, if you like short here, let's just say your short was here, and then you were like taking a setup right here, like this, and you end up like thinking that it's gonna rotate, but the overall context says that we are going to head higher, then you're gonna end up taking a loss. So you always need to understand about microstructure, knowing what the overall context is, which will help you a lot. It will completely change your trading, by the way. Cheetah said stop loss placement for max R and probability of holding. Not sure what you mean by that, but I would say just go for like a 2 hour setup is something that I go for. Stop loss placement. Honestly, just put your stops at a higher or low. That's what I do. Because I know if it breaks like a higher or low, it's either gonna SFP on my ass real quick, or if it like starts continuing, it's gonna continue higher, right? Okay, now that I look at the chart, I have completely fumbled one of the better trades that we were gonna like take today. Okay, now let's go to the 1 minute chart again. And this was going to be the trade that we were like looking to execute. I personally did not execute like this one this long right here, but if any of you did, so like congrats on that. I was honestly like waiting for like the low to stall a bit, and then I would have hopped on. But I was explaining as well. So I have fumbled this trade, but if anybody else has taken it, it's a pretty good trade. I think you can hold it all the way up to like this pivot, and we can also target these equal high low highs that we have right around here, and then from there it's gonna reverse on everybody's ass again. So that's like pretty cool. Now coming back to the chart real quick, what tools do you use for CVD and open interest? Okay, there's a lot of order flow questions going on right now. Give me a second, guys. I will share my screen real quick, and I will show you my order flow template in a second. Let me open up my order flow template real quick for everybody to see. Give me a second, guys. I'll share my screen in a second. Where do I? Okay, let me know if you guys can like see my screen real quick. Okay, that's a nice straight, Quincy. I was like looking at the same. That's a nice one. I personally fumbled, but that's cool. It's the same screen. Okay, can you see my overflow templates now? If you can, let me know. I cannot like see the screen. Okay. Okay, you can. Okay, I will explain to you guys what like CVD, autoflow, and all of this voodoo shit is about. First of all, we are gonna start with the TPO. So on the top left, I have my TPO. TPO just refers to time, price, opportunity. It's a volume profile, but based on time. And the red color you see here is POC for that. And then I have autoflow, what I am looking for. Sorry, footprints. What I'm looking for when I'm fading, or when I am the sort of doing like a continuation trading. And then we have like CVD and open interest. D bars right here is what we refer to as a CVD, and open interest right here is OI right here. And that's what I use for like identifying ranges or breakouts or breakdowns, or what's like going to happen honestly overall. And the way we like mark these out is like we use these together, we use footprints differently, we use TPO differently. Let me take a look at what the question was real quick. Are we gonna start with like footprints, or are we gonna start? Okay, that's a nice long. That's a pretty cool long. um, if any of you guys like took it, congrats on you. Let me see what sort of questions we have for order flow or footprint. Wait, I can. There are so many questions. I cannot see where the question. What two you tools? Okay, I use like ExoCharts, and as you can see, ExoCharts is paid, but you can go to use coinanalyze.com or you can use augur.trade.com to use either of these for free. Now, the way I like mark these out is I don't know if everybody knows, but this right here is like a candle for us, and numbers on the right are our buys and numbers on the left are our sells. And as you can see, like what I was talking about is like you want to look for shorts at the bottom. And I'll show you the bottom right now. Let me show you the bottom real quick. So this low 62 to 980, 62 to 90 is where I want to see 62 to 190. I think it's this one. 62 535. Okay, this low right here, I will show you what happened in this low right here on the order flow chart. As you can see, like there was like a lot of influx for buys. This is something that happens when you want to look for that higher low structure. Now when you want to look for a first low structure. Now I'll explain you the difference. It's something that a lot of people don't get. Now do you see the three lows that we have right here? Let me just like mark these out. This is gonna be free alpha for everybody and it's gonna be recorded, by the way. Where did my triangle go? Okay, shit. Okay, there is one triangle. Oh, sorry, rectangle, and there is one, right? I want to make sure that you guys look at these three lows, and then you look at these three lows that we have right around here. One, two, three, right? So these three lows, as you can see represented on the order flow chart, are pretty like visible, and I'll show you what's going on here. First of all, the first low is where we want to see that lows are trapping shorts. And if I like make this bigger, is where I want to see that okay, there's a low, and I want to see that there are people that are being trapped into the low, and that's the first low for us. I want to see that people are selling into it but they cannot break that level down, right? And as you can see that the red delta right here, there are a lot of shorts entering here. As you can see, the red number on the left, it says 18 million. That's a big one. 15 million, that's another big one. 8.5 million, that's another big one. Now, as you can see, it's mostly red. That means a lot of red delta. There's a lot of people that try to sell into the bottom, but they could not push the price further lower. And the reason why it happens is because 1 minute, like you're selling hundreds of millions of dollars, but the next minute there's no more sales. Like it was just you that was selling, but the next minute there was nobody selling, or maybe there was somebody selling for just $100 sales, right? But if I was there and I was buying like $200, and what's the difference is like there was like $100 sell and there was a $200 of buy. What that's gonna do, it's gonna pick the price back up, right? And that's what basically happens into these loads, that there's somebody that's selling but they get caught offside and then they're fucked, and then the second low usually has more sellers active, and then when the continuation low is about to happen, that's when the buyers influx really just catch up to the market, and that basically forms us a low that usually ends up forming a bottom, and then is usually used for rotations. That is exactly why I was actually watching the overflow, and that's exactly why I was like looking to trigger into this long. But honestly, I did not have like my in silico open on me at the moment, and I missed this trade. So if anybody like took it again, that's a nice trade. I think Quincy in the chat took it, so that's a pretty cool trade. But that's how basically you look into footprints. There's a lot more to explore. This is basically just the base idea of it. This is honestly nothing compared to like what you can explore and do with like footprints, overflow, and pretty much all the stuff that I teach about. So you do have to like go do your research up. As you can see, like I told you, like just when the call started, we were looking for longs, and the way these like trades that I execute real time are always like this. This one I fumbled, but the ones I take are pretty much the same idea. First of all, we mark out our structures. First of all, we mark out what the overall context is, and then we look for those triggers on those levels that we want to trade, and then we look for where the TPs can be and where the reversals can be. Just as you remember, I think it's been like what 30 minutes since we started the call, and I told you like this low is gonna form, and we're gonna bounce all the way up to here. Now we are looking for a rejection right around here, and honestly, we could get like a trade short setup, which again, like I personally don't trade scalps with like limits. I trade them whenever there's the confirmation or a trigger that gets executed, and then I like put a trade on them. But yeah, it's a pretty cool way to like trade, and you will be able to like understand it like so much better when you really look into it. A lot of questions today, a lot of people today. Hope you're enjoying your time here. Watching the market. Alexandra said, "Are you expecting a drop in 15 minutes? Is this pump manipulation or real move?" Honestly, I wouldn't say this pump is a manipulative move. This is more like a real move because as you can see, there is real influx getting into it. But knowing the structure that we have right here is either we reject off of here or we reject off of here. So this is not a fake move, it's a real move, but it's since it's a lower high, it's going to reject at some point. So that's what we have to like understand right here. Mm. Alberto said, "How many trades did you make in a single day or a weekend?" I try to like trade just once in a day now, or maybe twice if there's like enough volatility. I try not to overtrade anymore these days. I think Bal wants the question answered. One more if you have the time. That's what Bal is asking. I use a lot of stacked imbalances that I see on Footprint. When they have volume, for me, it's better support or resistance. Do you use them? And if you have additional node or alpha, I would be thankful. Imbalances. Okay, imbalances. Right here, as you can see, I have one marked as well. I have a lot of marked on my chart as well. As you can see, the red here, there's like and for the people that don't know, imbalances are basically more than three of these like high sells or high buys, and I use a lot of imbalances as well, but you always have to use them at a POI at a level that you're actually looking to trade. And again, for basing those levels, you have to use auction market theory, you have to use price action. You can't be like in the middle of nowhere. You're gonna be like, okay, there's a imbalance right here. Should I trade off of that? No, you should not. You should only use imbalances respectively to your POIs. You want to use them as confluence. You don't want to use them as trigger for your trades ever. Can you look for hype? Okay, let's take a look at hype. Hype USDT. What do we have on hype? Let me see real quick. We have a breakdown on hype so far. And I think this breakdown was expected out. I think we maybe were talking about it in the last Monday call that we had, but I don't remember. Hype, although honestly looks like a lower time frame downtrend. This is the daily time frame. If I go to the 30-minute chart, right here, it's a downtrend at the moment, for the higher time frame, and on the lower time frame, it's catching up bid. And this bid is because we are catching bid on BTC, right? So that's what's going on at the moment. But would there be levels that I look for to trade into it? Honestly, first of all, I would look to trade this FVG. If we're able to like get rejection off of here, we're gonna just rotate down to like 46k. Oh, sorry, 46,000. Oh, 46. Okay, and if we are able to like get some more bids running into it, then it would actually be a rotation all the way up to taking out like all of these highs. It would be a rotation up to probably like 60s to 70s. That would be nice. Hello, Mando. How are you doing? Zumlu said, do you always use 5-second chart to execute? No, I do not. I use the 1 minute chart. It's just to explain, like, you can actually learn about microstructure. So if you want to learn about microstructure, using the seconds chart will help a lot, honestly. That's a good thing. No, I did not catch this like long, but I was talking about it when the call started. I was like, there's one trade, it's a long, but I personally fumbled because I was like busy explaining stuff. Shini, can you take a look at lit? What is lit about? Let me just take a look at lit. Friend, you seem to be in a position on lit, so you can just like let me know your position because you keep asking about lit and I don't know like what's going on. What's your entry and where you're like enter from? This right here, I think this is the last time like I posted about lit. It was like around here. This is the PI that we wanted it to rotate to. and then we got rejected off of there, and now we're like bouncing off of the FEG that we have. So we have a minor bounce that's being set up, so you can expect it to go to 2.2. My average is like 1.77 right now. You have a very nice average. I don't know why you like did not TP around here. I was pretty sure to like tell you to partial is what I remember. Now, honestly, I am looking for like okay, but by the way, this is like 2 hour trade. Like a 2 hour trade for the day is like pretty good. And we'll look for another 2 hour trade real quick. Let me go and check if there's another trade on the lower time frame. Let's go and see. Skimmer said, "Hey Shini, can you explain in easier terms what exactly is tick-based charts and is necessary to look for?" Don't even think about tick-based charts at the moment. You don't really need them. Just understand what a tick is. That's all you need. Honestly, if you don't know about microstructure or don't have a proper strategy set up, I recommend not to get into tick charts at the moment. It's just like a way of like looking at the charts like a second chart. It's like tick based. Tick is basically a trade based. So based off of like the amount of trades that are happening, you can actually track that real time. But it's not really something that you would excel at pretty well. There's a very minor proportion of traders that like use tick charts and are profitable at it. Do you use the Asia range? Not sure what the Asia range is, but I do mark out levels from Asia session. Shini, what session do you usually like to trade? Honestly, New York. New York has the most amount of moves, like this one right here in front of you. Probably the best move you could have had in the day. This is honestly the best move you could have had in a day. So if you risk like 1K for like a 2.5 hour setup right here, you would have made like 2.5K. So New York, or you can trade like Asia session. If you want to trade like London, London is okay, but you don't necessarily get as volatile trades in London as you get in New York. Didi said, "What's usually your daily routine when you open a fresh draft chart? Can you share how you dissect price action?" The way I dissected like when I was going from higher time frame to lower time frame, I just take a look at the higher time frame, mark out my higher time frame levels, and then go to the lower time frame and then look for triggers, and then just wait for those triggers, and then sometimes look at microstructure or the order flow, and then just like take the trade. That's all I do. Why daily open and weekly open is important. It's because there's a lot of positions influxing into that time. When the day opens, there's a lot of like bots. There's a lot of traders just in just throwing their positions to the market. So that pivot, you have to understand everything is about like positions. Everything is about volume. That pivot of time has a lot of positions opening and closing. So that's why it's important because there could be somebody with a big buy right around that level and they would be willing to buy again, or there could be somebody that has a very big sell around that level that could be willing to sell again. So that's very important. Tini, what is your morning routine? I don't have a morning routine, Mondo. I just wake up, I look at the charts, and I do some stuff. Not at the moment, but usually I do. I like just try to like eat food. I get some coffee in it. So Lily said, Shini, can you have a look at year's quarter as I am confused for the first quarter? What should we consider it as, accumulation or reversal? This is something that I have shared the higher time frame look on. Honestly, any like I'll tell you like straight up, anything from 45K or 50K all the way down to like 30K, just keep buying it. It's accumulation on the hard time frame. So you don't have to worry about like which quarter it like goes hits your TP. You just gotta get your trades right first. Does gooning actually impact your psychology for trading? Um, I'll let Mondo answer that. Matt said, "Can you mark a volume profile because when I do, the price is not the same level as yours. It's probably because your volume profile has different values. I'm not sure. Okay, this is my volume profile settings. You can adjust to my settings, and from these settings and style that you have, you can take a screenshot of this, and you can pretty much like copy these settings. Then you will have the same one. I use 1,000 row size, and then for the volume I use like 68%. What is a good FRVP anchor? Again, like I said, wherever the exhaustion has occurred and to the current market price. Let's take a look at the lower time frame again. As you can see, like this has rotated to this PI for now, and let's just see if we have some more kick in it to run it a little higher, get rejected, and then send it all the way back down to Hades. But if you don't have the kick in, and we are able to see some rejection off of here, we're gonna kick it back from here. Let's go to the lower time frame real quick. It's honestly, it's stalling a bit for now. It's probably gonna take another 30 minutes or so to get the next move, so we can like wait it out. But if you do start to form like a trend, what I mean by like it running to higher PI, let's just say this is a higher low for us now, right? What you really want to see is that this higher low gets protected when we were talking about continuation. So if the first one doesn't get respected, then you cannot have, then it's likely that it's exhaustion, it's gonna reverse back. So we need these higher lows or the initial lows that could form to be protected and to form a structure for us. Oh wait, somebody sent a chart. An Ethereum USDT short. Hmm. Honestly, you're shorting the literal low, so that's why it didn't work out. This one right here. Low. It's a higher low. That's where you look for longs, not shorts. Do you ever anchor a trending move to see where the low volume node below value is? I do not. I do use like VWAPs for anchoring a trend though. Um, you don't have to master a volume profile on the lower time frame. I just use that for rotations on the higher time frame. You don't need to stress yourself about every single V or volume profile on the lower time frame, even though all of that you're asking it like exists, like VWAPs, like volume profiles, all of that trading and that strategy exists out there. But that's very hectic. That's not as good as like understanding microstructure or leveling your higher time frame levels out or order flow is. So that's why I don't stay them out. Even though I have tried like pretty much all of it, that's exactly why I tell you guys this is a formula. Just copy that shit and then you will be able to do good. And once you have like ended up copying that shit, then you can spend your time around like studying the rest of it in your free time. As you can see, like we have another low that's held. Now this is going to be our higher low. Now this is going to be the FEG we rely on. And then if you're able to like continue on from here, that's gonna be continuation. Can I really live with trading is a good question. I am living with trading. So I am one example and there are so many more. So you don't have to worry about it. Okay, there were a lot of people on call today and a lot of questions. And honestly, if you guys have any more questions, before I go, I will like share you what I am looking for currently. That would again be a liquidity sweep of these highs. And if you are able to like just sweep them off and then hold another high, do a break structure, only then we are going to rotate to this FVG all the way back down. And if we get that, that's good. That's going to be a very nice short setup. But if we do not, and we continue the same structure that we did right around here as well, we're going to send all the way back up to like 64, 400. It's going to be like pretty nice. Like into this FVG that we have sitting right around here. Yep. And that's the current update for the market, guys. Like that's the hard time frame update and the lower time frame update. And if you guys have any more questions, you can always DM me or ask them about in the free chat. And I really appreciate everybody for joining. I hope you guys got to learn something, and I hope you guys enjoyed the stream as well. I will see you guys later. Thank you everybody for joining. I really appreciate everybody that joins, and take care, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.